Good evening and welcome to Hall Talk. I'm Clayton Collier alongside Vincent, Paolella, and Aaron Ross. Tonight we'll have your weekly roundup, an interview with former Seton Hall baseball starter and current Phillies prospect Jon Prosinski, and end things off with our new segment, Bottom of the Ninth. We'll send it off to Aaron for your weekly roundup.
Hello out there, Pirate Nation. I'm Aaron Ross, and here's your weekly Seton Hall Athletics Roundup. After falling to Providence last Friday, the men's basketball team took home a surprising 71-62 victory over the then third-place Xavier on Senior Day. Fuquan Edwin, Brian Oliver, and Eugene Teague put on a show in their final game at the Prudential Center. Oliver led the Pirates with 20 points, with Edwin, who returned from a thumb injury, and Teague posted 17 points each. The Pirates will head to Indianapolis to face the Butler Bulldogs this Saturday at 4:30 p.m., wrapping up their regular season. The women's team also came away with a win against Xavier on Senior Day, downing the Musketeers 62-50. The Pirates ended their regular season with a 17-12 final record and 8 conference wins, their most since the 2006-2007 season. They'll head to Chicago for the first round of the Big East tournament on Saturday. Moving on to baseball, where the Pirates are off to a roaring start to their 2014 campaign. Fresh off a 3-game sweep of the number 22 Arizona, the Pirates made their season debut on the national rankings, coming in at 22nd on the collegiate baseball poll. The Pirates won their first game of the series 9-1 behind a dominant pitching performance from Josh Prevost, who went 8 innings. In Game 2, junior Tyler Boyd powered in 3 runs, including a solo home run, to give the Pirates a 4-2 win. The Pirates completed the sweep with an 11-2 romping behind strong hitting from DJ Ruman, who went 4 for 5 with a triple. Prevost took home Big East Pitcher of the Week awards, while Ruman earned a spot on Big East Honor Roll. At the UNLV Eller Classic in Las Vegas, our softball team was swept, losing to New Mexico State 14-5, Weber State 7-2, Binghamton 6-3, and host UNLV 6-2. The team is now 3-12 on the season. This has been your weekly roundup. Now we'll send it over to Clayton, who got an interview with Seton Hall baseball alum and Phillies prospect Jon Prosinski.
So if you paid attention to Pirates baseball in the past 4 years, you know the name Jon Prosinski. And Jon, it's been about a year since I last spoke with you, since you've last been on a baseball diamond here at Seton Hall, and a lot has changed. Getting drafted in the 10th round. Want to provide us a little update on the past year for yourself?
Yeah, it's been a fun, wild ride, that's for sure. But yeah, as you said, I was drafted in June by the Phillies, so. I started off my professional career with their short season team in Williamsport, and I was there for about 4 weeks, and then was able to get promoted to their low A team in Lakewood, New Jersey, which was a great experience just to be pretty close to home, and my family and friends and a bunch of Seton Hall guys were able to come, and the coaches were able to come, and so it was really cool to be only about an hour from home, and I played there for the rest of the summer. And that ends just about the beginning of September, and pretty much since then I've just kind of been focusing on enjoying the off season, relaxing, and getting in shape for this upcoming season.
And looking towards some of your personal experiences, we were just talking about it earlier on. Now in Lakewood, I believe you said it was you had a couple run-ins with some of the major league players who were rehabbing. You want to talk a little about that with Halliday in particular?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough in my time in Lakewood to have a couple of the major league guys do some rehab stints with us. The first one was Dominic Brown, and he's an outfielder for the Phillies, and he was an All-Star this year, and he played 1 game with us a little bit after the All-Star break because he had a concussion, and and that was cool. He hit a home run. He went 3 for 4, so it was cool to be his teammate for the day. And then obviously, as you said, Roy Halladay pitched the game for us at the end of August when he started doing rehab to get back up to Philly, and that was a really cool experience because he is one of the probably better pitchers to ever play the game, and he obviously just retired this past off season, but he started one of our home games in Lakewood for us, and it was kind of my first experience of like a major league atmosphere. I mean, the place was sold out. It was jam packed. We had over 8,000 people there. Just all the press and the media was there, just in our clubhouse the whole time, and everyone's taking pictures of him before the game and after the game, and it kind of just introduces you a little bit to this is what it may be like down the road if you ever make it up to Philly or wherever your major league team is, and so it was cool to just be able to see him, how he goes about his business, what he did before the game, how he warmed up, what he did in the training room. It was a really cool experience just to say that I was Roy Halladay's teammate, even if it was for one day.
And now, kind of moving a little bit towards the current team. I mean, you saw yourself, Gilbert, Granite, Papaccio, and then Terhune get signed as an undrafted free agent, all go, and as well as a number of undrafted graduations as well. This team lost a lot of core players, yourself included, highlighting that. Have you guys really mentioned much to them? Have they really brought it up to you, saying, "Hey, you guys are all kind of leaving us," or something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, especially and it's kind of how it is for all the classes. But when you're, like the senior class this year, I mean, they have said it's definitely, it is a little different when, we're not around. But as I said, it was even the same way my senior year because, the kids that are a year older than you, that class, they've been with you for your whole college experience. They're only 1 year older than you, so you've played with them for 3 years, and a lot of those guys start to feel like, you kind of just intermingled classes because you're, so close to the same age, so you may have, classes together outside of baseball, and you're just kind of around each other a lot more. So yeah, they have said that, there is, some differences with us, not being around there, but as we saw this past weekend series at Richmond, they seem to be, doing pretty well without us, and especially if they put up, 16 runs like they did, then they'll be in good shape for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
so.
they might not need too much pitching.
No, if they put up 16, they'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Well, actually, going back to what I was talking about before with Montgomery High, you mentioned Josh Prevost, DJ Ruhlman, two of the players right now were also went to your high school. I mean, with Prevost in particular, I mean, he's kind of having the weight that you had last year on your shoulders. Has he really talked to you about it? Have you given him much advice at all on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to talk to him a little bit, and he, but Josh is, he's a smart guy, and he's a leader. He understands what the being that Friday guy entails, and he's obviously done a great job so far. I mean, he, had a big win over a big program, Oklahoma, the first game of the year, which is, it's always tough to do, to go out to, play at a national powerhouse like Oklahoma and win on their field and spoil their opening day. And he was able to do that, and then he was throw that complete game this weekend. So I think there's always you always have to wonder if the guy's going to be able to take that next step to be able to be that that number one guy in the rotation who is able to go out there and throw all those innings and and be one of the team leaders. But Josh is definitely very capable of doing that, and hopefully he'll keep throwing like he is.
With the team as a whole, there's now only 7 teams in the Big East Baseball Conference. Seton Hall was picked to be second, just 1 point behind Creighton. You want to give us a little bit of your preview for them, maybe a prediction for where you see them finishing off in the Big East?
Hopefully number 1, but I guess that'll be up to those guys to see where they end. But yeah, they'll be definitely interesting to watch this year with the new conference. I mean, some of those teams are people that I would have played while I was here, but it's definitely going to be a big difference. Playing Creighton and Butler and Xavier, and who knows who they may add down the road. But yeah, I mean, I think they, despite losing a lot of guys from last year, I think they have a good team and a pretty good shot to win the Big East this year and advance to the NCAA tournament. So. And
hopefully get in despite some snubbing from last year. So.
Yeah, well, that's winning the tournament takes care of that. So if you win that crown, then you get the automatic bid. It doesn't matter who's making the choices that have to put you in. So.
All right. Any last words on Seton Hall baseball? Anything that you want to talk about more? Or?
I guess pretty much just good luck to those guys, and go out there and have a good, strong season. And all us old alumni guys will be watching you every step of the way. So keep making us proud and putting up all those runs, and have good luck this year, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Jon Prosinski. All right, welcome to our final segment here for tonight. We have bottom of the ninth. In this segment, in case you're unaware, it'll be 1 minute per topic for our 2 analysts, Vincent Paolella and Aaron Ross. All right, if we'd like to get started, guys, we got our first topic right here. First off, for the Big East tournament coming up, who goes further in the Big East tourney, men's or women's basketball?
Women's, I think they're going to get past the first round. It depends on who the men play and if they really show up. But I think the women have are probably going to get a little further in the tournament.
I definitely agree with them. I think the women have a better shot. Obviously the record shows they're better than the men. They have a good shot at going farther. The men, I wouldn't sleep on them though. So when we're all healthy, it's nice. So I'd go with the women.
All right, moving on to our next topic right now. We got the men's basketball team. You know, a lot of different players involved throughout due to injuries, due to a lot of different factors. Who's your MVP this season? We'll start off with you, Aaron.
I'd say Patrick Auda. I mean, his numbers don't really go to show it, his stats, but I like him in all senses. All the games I've been to, I've seen he gets to the dirty areas. Like everyone else, you don't really see them getting on the floor to get balls. Patrick Auda, I've never seen a man hit the floor so many times in one game. He's landing on his spine. It's killer. I like him.
I'm going to have to say Sterling Gibbs just because he came in this year. He really helped carry this team when Fuquan wasn't here, along with Brian Oliver. And I know he had his struggles and wasn't scoring like he was, but for what we now see what he can do, and going into next year, I think it's going to be great.
Did struggle a little bit there from the free throw line down the stretch. Moving on to our next topic here, you know, this season had a lot of up and downs for the men's team. What's your best win and your worst loss for the 2013-2014 Seton Hall season? Aaron?
For me, I mean, there's a number of games we can name, Fairleigh Dickinson, St. Peter's, but I'm going to say the DePaul game because they just never, it didn't look like they ever came out to play that game. They just it was bad the whole way. That's definitely their worst loss. The best win seemed a little different, but I mean, the second win over Georgetown, they handled them. It was a great win, and it shows because that's a club that's always a good team every year. So it's a great win to sweep them on the season.
Vince?
For my best win, I think it's against Providence, the first time on New Year's Eve, going into double overtime. They really stuck together, went through that whole game, came out with the win. Worst loss, I don't want to sound like there's an echo in here, but I'm going to have to say the DePaul game as well. After what they did against Creighton, you know, playing such an amazing game, and then coming out the next time and, you know, just completely falling apart against DePaul, it's just something that shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. I'm going to have to disagree with both of you and go with St. Peter's. I mean, seeing that loss with Brian Oliver hitting the last second three, then hitting it again in overtime with 5 seconds left, only to lose on another three to a team like the St. Peter's Peacocks, and losing to a team entitled the Peacocks is just horrendous.
Just
all right, next one we got up, we're moving on to baseball here. Seton Hall baseball had a number of graduates, a lot of guys go in the draft. But the way that they've started off this season, as Aaron mentioned earlier on in the show, number 22 in the nation, does Seton Hall have a better offense this year or last year?
I think this year they're actually looking better. They started off 0-9 last year. It was a rough start. We like to say that this team shouldn't have been as good because of all the people they've lost, but they've just come out with fire, and I like how they're going this year. They got good chances.
Well, when you score 16 runs in a game, I mean, your offense is doing very good, especially, and then also when you can beat a number 22 ranked team. I haven't had the chance to see them in person. Last year's team had a lot of, you know, small ball in them and scored a lot of runs, but I just have to wait a little bit longer to see the difference. But they have a great offense, and they're very lucky after what they lost.
And putting up runs.
All right, well, our final topic of the night now, we have baseball. We got an over-under for you. 35 wins for this season. Last year, the team went 37-19 in 56 games played. They'll play 53 games this year. As mentioned, they're 7-2 thus far. What do you guys got, over or under 35 wins? Vince?
I'm going to say over, even though they have less games. The only thing I'm worried about is their pitching, because they weren't as deep as they were last year in pitching. But I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
I'd agree. I'd say it's definitely a shoe-in. Like he said, the pitching is not as deft, but Previs is coming out this year, surprised everyone stepping in over for Jose Lopez, and he's killing it right now. So I think it's a shoe-in, definitely.
Nice word usage with shoe-in there. All right, that's going to wrap it up tonight for us for Hall Talk. For Vincent Paolella and Aaron Ross, I'm Clayton Collier. Have a good night.